Hi, it's Mona McClellan here again, and I want to welcome you back to this very special community. And this is video 2 in a 3-part video series about how to achieve goals in your life. And if you remember, first of all, if you haven't seen the last video, check below. There'll be a link to part 1, because in part 1 we talked about, if you remember, we talked about the importance of goals and the difference between the end result and setting these mini goals. And the confusion that people have between having this big goal and trying to figure out how to get it, and then just being overwhelmed and not doing anything or achieving anything that they set out to do. In fact, becoming even more discouraged and it's kind of stopping dead in their tracks and not getting anywhere. And there's all of these hopes and dreams and plans that people have that never get off the ground because of this confusion between the end result and what you need to do, the little mini steps, baby steps, I call them, that you need to take in order to get yourself there. Okay, so if you haven't seen part 1, go back and watch that video. It's very important. And if you haven't signed up for our community newsletter, there's also a link below to make sure that you get a weekly newsletter about setting goals and helping you avoid stress and burnout and all that wonderful stuff. So I've got some talking points here today because I don't want to miss anything. This video is super important as we move along to figure out really, what happens to create momentum? What can you do to create momentum? And what happens if you get off track? How do you get back on track? Well, first of all, if you think about a goal that you want or something that's really important for you to achieve, the first thing you need to do is write it down. The importance of writing it down is because you're going to not only write your big goal down, but you're going to write down all the mini goals. And why you want to write down your mini goals is because you want to be able to strike them off. Every time you do something, or at the end of the day, or before you go to bed, you make sure you strike them off. And what happens to the chemistry in your body when you do that is you get this feeling inside of accomplishment. And you might hear some people talk about the dopamine effect, or they call the dopamine the reward chemical in your body. Basically, it's something that happens in your body to reward. I'll say positive behavior, but it's more like feel-good behavior. And then, so if you think about it, if you put down a goal and you strike it off, and for me anyways, you look back at it and you think, look at all that I've done today. I feel really accomplished. Now, what some people do is they make a to-do list, and it's just stuff that has to get done. And so once they get it done, they feel really good. But there's a difference between a to-do list and achieving your goals, okay? Because a to-do list, it's stuff that you have to get done, but it's just pretty much busyness. And if you have a goal and a mini goal, that's stuff that is going to propel you in the direction you want to go to achieve that goal. So yes, we have to get stuff done daily, of course, but this is one step up from that. This is many steps up from that. It's actually putting yourself into action and focus to achieve what it is that you want in your life. And if you don't create a plan and action steps, it's not going to happen. Okay, so getting back to that feeling. So this is a really great example. Think about cell phones. So maybe you're the type of person that likes to look at your phone all the time, carry it with you all the time, tap into Facebook all the time. Maybe before you go to bed, you're on Facebook for an hour, checking in and communicating. And it gives you something. It's like it serves you in some way, and it's very hard for you to be without that. So you are getting that kind of rush, that kind of feeling, but next thing you know, you're so distracted, you haven't done anything to get towards your goals. And then again, you get discouraged, and sometimes you even decide that, oh, perhaps this isn't what I should be doing. And then you latch on to something else. Maybe you saw something on one of those Facebook posts through your cell phone. And you said, no, I'm going to do that. So all of a sudden now you've got another new goal or a different goal, or maybe a new business idea, or you're going to get involved in a community and create new relationships. And we call that the new bright shiny object syndrome. So now you're still feeding that feel good, and it's motivating you, moving you, but it's having you jump around and lose focus. So we want you to be able to set these mini goals, do those mini goals first every day, strike them off. So for example, maybe you want to have a better relationship with your spouse or your children. So, today a mini goal is I'm going to send a text message to my spouse, and I'm going to, send a little sweet words of appreciation to my child for what they did. And I'm going to do a couple of those today or every day. Or you're trying to lose weight. So you decide that today I'm going to make it through the whole day without having a candy bar or a bag of chips. And I'm going to plan my healthy snacks. And you get through the day and you've done that. You can mark that off. Or it has something to do with your business. You've got steps that taking you in the right direction. Now, those will give you the same feeling as if you're just spending endless amounts of time on another and going off doing something else that's really not serving you. You see, when you want to get something in your life, what's really important for you to focus on is what is it that you're going to have to sacrifice to get what it is that you want. And you might hear my cell phone going off in the distance. Sorry about that. But anyways, I don't want to lose my train of thought here. So sacrifice sounds like a really bad word, but whenever you want to get something, you have to give it something. So say you want to feel better, have more energy, and you need to get up early in the morning because the hours before midnight are much more restful sleep, and you can actually wake up earlier and you can get more done and have more energy. Well, that might mean you can't watch, the Late Show the night before. You can't fall asleep on the couch, that you actually have to go to bed or maybe create a bedtime ritual to have you asleep by 10:30 or 11 o'clock. So a sacrifice is just replacing a bad behavior with a good one that's productive. Okay, so what happens if you get off track? What happens if you go all the way, get caught off on this bright, shiny object syndrome, and you just kind of lost sight of all of your goals again? What the heck do you do? So what I want you to do is, you might even want to just close your eyes for a moment and think about this. Take a deep breath and say, what is it for you that keeps you on track, gets you back on track when you get stressed out or busy or totally, everything goes upside down? So maybe it's you go for a walk, or you go to the gym, or you just take a moment to have a nice soak in the bath. For me, I just have to be out in nature. I could even just sit under a tree. I live close to the ocean, so off time I just go and sit on a piece of driftwood. And what happens is I get clarity, I get sort of recentered, and then I know what I have to do again. I get re-inspired, but towards my same goal. And then I can refocus and reset some mini goals and go from there. So think about what we talked about. Watch video number 1 if you haven't, and think about what we talked about today as far as, writing things down, not letting yourself get off track, letting the dopamine happen when you've actually written down and checked off your own goals, and you can tell you're making progress. And remember what it is that you can do when you get off track to reset yourself so you can move forward without being distracted by something new or something better. Think about it. Some people just replace their relationships because they got off track. And then, yeah, you feel good and you meet this person and you've got all those new sort of honeymoon phase feelings, but then they go and there you are again. So if you want to have a different life, you have to have a different life. Somebody's really trying to get a hold of me. So you know what I'm going to do? I'm just going to end it right there and go ahead and get focused and make your mini goals, and I'll see you on video number 3.